Ladies and gentlemen, it is now my honor to invite Maryam Aurangzeb, Senior Minister, Government of Punjab, to deliver her inaugural address.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Distinguished guests, my colleague, my sister Rumina Khurshid Alam from the Federal Climate Change Ministry, my friend from UN, and Dawn Group representatives present here in the hall, Assalamu Alaikum. I can see lots of experts, lots of people from media, and also lots of people from the policymakers and civil society sitting here in the hall, which of course reflects the shared responsibility towards climate resilience and climate adaptation and mitigation. I would also like to thank Dawn Group for taking this very critical and important subject of air quality, Breathe Pakistan, under the banner of Breathe Pakistan. And I would want to congratulate Naz and her team, along with the team of Dawn Group and all the experts sitting here in this hall. For I was a bit skeptical last year when I participated in the similar conference, Breathe Pakistan 2025, I guess, in February last year. And I was not thinking that this will be a sustainable initiative, because sometimes private initiatives are based on lots of resources, and there's a less tendency of taking issues like climate change by the private sector, let alone the media. So my heartfelt congratulations to Naz, to you and your team and Dawn Group for sustaining this initiative, because that is the key to issues or challenges like climate change. So, and I would also want that other media houses, media channels, media groups should be made part of this consortium, and this should become a national consortium for climate resilience in Pakistan and across Pakistan. I will, as this is my talk from governance of climate change has been now converted into keynote speech. So I would try to be general about it, but I'll present a case study from Punjab under the leadership of our able Chief Minister. She took the climate resilience head on right after joining office back in February 2024. And as we all know, the place we are sitting, Lahore, the heritage hotspot of Pakistan, the cultural hotspot of Pakistan, the heartbeat of Pakistan, is confronted with seasonal smog, which is smoke plus fog. But ladies and gentlemen, I would also like to tell you that this is a year-long phenomenon. Smog is seasonal because we can see smog from October to December because of the fog. But the AQI levels of Lahore and of certain regions in Punjab were not very encouraging. So we started working on smog mitigation right after assuming office in March. I still remember that when I joined office and the Chief Minister said that you have to do something about smog. And I called a meeting right after that in March, and the entire government was in a complete state of shock that why in March are we talking about smog. So the first thing was to inculcate the sense that this AQI phenomena is a year-long phenomena. And when we looked at data and the PMT score to climate change, the first climate resilient vision was passed and launched by the Chief Minister, which had a complete time-bound action plan within that document of the vision. And similarly, we also launched our smog mitigation short-term, medium-term and long-term plan that the Chief Minister had approved. And when I was addressing the Breathe Pakistan last year, we were in a state of starting different interventions, and I promise that we will be doing all these initiatives and interventions in the coming year. But Alhamdulillah, when I speak about our interventions, the Punjab interventions, the provincial interventions in AQI. We've completed the entire legal framework. We've completed the entire technology database framework of Province Punjab. As we speak, we are now doing AI predictable modeling for first time ever forecasting of AQI levels across Punjab districts, because localization of this smog mitigation was very, very critical to the entire intervention. So as I was saying, that we took the multi-sectoral lens to smog mitigation, and these are the smog guns that we have just imported about 2 months back, and they are now on the streets and roads of Lahore. And what they do is, according to the preliminary research, they reduce PMT 2.5 and PMT 10 by around 25-30%. And if targeted operation, localized operation is carried out, it reduces it to about 45% of that targeted localization of PMT 2.5. So this is one intervention. And then we also now have, when we started off, we just had 2 non-functional AQI monitors across Punjab, which were also donated to us by JICA back in 2007. But now, alhamdulillah, for AQI monitoring, for predictable forecasting, AI predictable forecasting, we now have about 41 air monitors installed across Punjab, and we'll be finishing off with 100 monitors across Punjab by June 2026. So this is a breakthrough, because we did not have data. We relied on international websites and substandard quality air monitors installed unregulated. We have also brought them into regulation. There's an entire revamp of legal, legislative and administrative functions of the Environmental Protection Force. We had very, very limited and compromised monitoring force, which is Environmental Protection Force, but alhamdulillah, now we have state-of-the-art Environmental Protection Force, which is also sectoral. We have force for different sectors, we have squads for different sectors, we have hawk squads for different industrial sectors also. So it's complete multi-sectoral policy for the entire intervention. As I said, that this is seasonal, so huge work has been done, and funds and implementation has been allocated to stubble burning across Punjab, because we all know that stubble burning is a major contributor after, and when I say major, during the seasonal smog I'm talking about. So for that we did not have a single superseder. That of course avoids the stubble burning for the farmers, but we did not have that. So we started off our program with subsidy program with 80% paid by the government and 20% paid by the farmer, and the cost of the one superseder was around 1.3 million. So we contributed about 800,000, and the rest was given by the farmer. So now when I speak, we have about 5,000 superseders working in smog-prone districts of division of Lahore and district Lahore also. And we now have a complete zoning of a stubble burning, mapping of the stubble burning zones. We have developed around 67 central zone stations that are monitoring stubble burning at the moment. So the Chief Minister has invested a lot in e-mechanization of agriculture machinery. So that also is helping in reducing the stubble burning across Punjab. Then also the institutional strengthening. We've completely, when we speak about climate resilience governance, we've completely revamped, restructured and reformed the Environmental Protection Department, the Climate Change Department in Punjab, in terms of its HR, in terms of technology, in terms of data, and also in terms of implementing and monitoring. It's all centralized monitoring, all all digital drone surveillance we've started for monitoring the industrial units across Punjab. The brick kiln is another major contributor in smog or AQI levels. So now, alhamdulillah, more than 11,000 brick kilns across Punjab are mapped, QR coded and monitored across Punjab. So that's also something that we celebrate at Environmental Protection, and they all are linked to the central monitoring system at Environmental Protection Monitoring Cell. So this is the brick kiln that the campaign we run ourselves. Around 2,000, more than 2,000 brick kilns have been demolished. But when we demolish them, we make sure that they are converted into zigzag technology, and we seal the brick kiln unless they convert. We put a QR code and then we link it to the centralized monitoring system. Similarly, we have environmental control systems now installed in more than 900 industrial units across Punjab, including the pyrolysis plants and the other industrial units within Lahore and Lahore division. We are focusing, but it is across Punjab that we have installed. This is the pyrolysis and industrial units. There's a zero tolerance for this industrial unit compliance that we now have. This is all, every chimney is now linked with camera, which is an environmental control system, and is now linked to our integrated monitoring cell in environmental protection. So these are the actions that you're seeing on the screen. The Environmental Protection Force works 24/7 in shifts. So it is monitoring the entire interventions, the sectoral interventions around 24/7. Then technology, of course, I spoke about. We now have air quality monitors, we have smog guns. We are equipped with technology that any developed country would have in terms of collecting data, in terms of monitoring. We have started drone surveillance, we're using thermal cameras, certificate, and more than 300,000 cars have been certified first time ever in Punjab, in Pakistan. And also then we have this, it's an ongoing thing, the vehicular testing. We are using safe city cameras to identify smoke coming from motorbikes, from three-wheelers, from two-wheelers, and also from the cars that we are now certifying. We have a $300 million Punjab Clean Air program that we are now implementing, which also has buyback policy of the old vehicles, buyback policy of two-wheelers, and buyback policy of three-wheelers. So that's something that we are implementing at the moment. We have a complete AQI dashboard that gives forecasts for general public, for citizens. This has also happened for the first time in Pakistan, that now on your mobile phones, and daily and monthly forecasting is done when it comes to AQI. And we have a chatbot. We've introduced that as well in terms of technology, access to the general public, to the citizens of Punjab. This is for every district, every division in Punjab. But chatbot, you can ask questions, you can ask your AQI, you can ask AQI of your nearby places, and also health advisories are put on that chatbot. The chatbot tells you that what is the AQI level and what is expected from the citizens when you have that. So in terms of first time ever, we now have mobile fuel testing labs. This is something which is very, very important, because the fuel that goes in the vehicle and the quality of that fuel is very important. So for the first time, EPA Punjab has started fuel testing, and we have mobile labs to test fuels at the petrol station across Punjab. Green mobility, the Chief Minister's vision for green mobility, and in last 8 months, 1,100 buses have arrived in Punjab, electric buses, that we have shifted our entire mass transit to electric buses. And this is across Punjab, in South Punjab, Centre Punjab, and North Punjab. We have these buses now. So, it's a carbon offset that we are looking at, and the study is also going on that what is the impact of, so she's big on green mobility, and the green transport is her vision for next 4 years across Punjab. We are investing into state-of-the-art electric ARTs and SRTs, adding, it's a track-driven train bus. So we are introducing it in Faisalabad, in Lahore later, and in Gujranwala. So that's under the green mobility. Then we have to, of course, climate change vision 2025. You all must go through that. It tells the vision for next 10 years, and with a complete target-oriented policy action plan embedded into that document. So it's just not a vision or a policy document. It has the action plan, sectoral action plan also, which is being monitored at the central dashboard of the Chief Minister. We've also introduced for engage the younger population, the youth of the country, and we have a green credit program, which is your individual carbon offset program. So you get credits, you get cash. If you replace your motorbike, you get 100,000 from the government. If you replace your three-wheeler, you get 100,000 from the government. So it's an incentive program, and also a carbon offset, carbon credit, national carbon credit program. So most importantly, I've spoken about the vehicular fitness program. When we started off, we did not have any data with us, as I was saying, and we relied on international websites like IQ Air, like NASA website. So these, the major seasonal contributor to AQI, high AQI levels in Lahore and now in Multan also. We've seen smog reached Peshawar and Karachi last year as well. So that easterly wind corridor from India and the size, the scale of stubble burning at the bordering areas in Indian Punjab was a major contributor, and this wind corridor towards Pakistan, which we call easterly wind corridors, plays very, very important and critical role and major contributor to seasonal AQI high levels. So for that we had started a transboundary engagement, but due to recent events, we are again starting to take this up with maybe through UN or World Bank with India. And then this entire intervention, entire reform is citizen-centric. So Breathe Pakistan is also a very important vehicle for awareness raising, that it's a consequence of what we do, how we act, and what are our choices as citizens, as nation. And of course, we can give policy, we can give based and robust, but then at the end of the day, the responsibility is shared, and whatever we choose has consequence on the environment, on climate change, and of course climate resilience. We have seen in floods that recent floods, 3 rivers of Punjab in super flood, and we see that where we have done construction and where we have intervened and interjected the environment, the natural flows of river, we had seen lots of devastation and major devastation in those river plains and river beds. So the Chief Minister is, she's given direction, and we are working on how to rehabilitate and how to rehabilitate our irrigation infrastructures, and also how to rehabilitate our communities and shift them to the safer part of Punjab. So this is, I can keep talking about these intervention the entire day, but this is something, fugitive dust. Now when you're roaming around and when you're going around Lahore, every construction site is EPA certified. That means we have sprinklers at every site across a construction site, because fugitive dust is a major contributor to seasonal AQI, and also to seasonal AQI levels, and also high levels around the year. Plastic. Plastic is something which the Chief Minister is overseeing herself. Zero plastic Punjab, plastic free Punjab, plastic less Punjab. We are working on for last a year and a half. And the important thing is that around 380 tons of plastic we have confiscated. But the most important is now every plastic factory in Punjab is registered. They're engaged with us. They've declared their stock, and it's more, we've confiscated, of course, the supply side. But as I was saying, that it all depends our choice. So we've seen when we travel outside Pakistan, now when we ourselves go to Carrefour and other parts and other grocery stores, we take our own bag. But in Pakistan, we don't do that. And we take plastic bag. I mean, we buy things in plastic bags. So it all depends on our choice, our legacy that we leave. And the choices that we make today, of course, has an impact and consequence. So it's a huge awareness raising with the Say No to Plastic Bag from the citizens' perspective, and that's how we're trying to engage the stakeholders, engage the citizens and the public to reduce their plastic use. I've spoken about the stubble burning. So this is how and what we are doing, and what you're seeing in the video is the recycled plastic. The plastic that we confiscate is now being used in making furniture, is used in making classroom chairs for our public schools. We've just embarked on a waste-wise smart school program. I was in Japan about a month ago, and I was in Tokyo with the Chief Minister. So I looked around for something on the streets or the roads, any waste, anything. I was telling to Naz and Shakil Sahab when they visited me. So I asked my embassy person that, the streets are so clean. I can't see anything on the road. कुछ भी नहीं था रोड के ऊपर, nothing. तो I was like कि कितना, और जो bridge थे, the उनका जो नीचे वाली जगह थी, they were mirror clean. So I was like, wow. And I asked the embassy person that, the streets and the roads are so clean, the bridge, the underpasses are so clean. So he said, madam, don't look for waste on the roads or the streets, look for a dustbin. So, and I started looking for a dustbin. I could not see a single dustbin on the road in Japan. So that means that people are responsible for their own waste. They take the waste to their house, back to their houses. They have a small bag in their bags when they come to work or when they leave houses. And we went to this waste incinerator in Japan. So the Chief Minister said that we want the same technology in Pakistan, and our local government minister was with us as well. So the Chief Minister told her to explore this opportunity and have this technology placed in Pakistan and in Punjab. So when we came back and the local government minister was giving us the presentation after that, more research. So the entire waste management in Japan is for segregated waste. So that technology cannot be brought to Pakistan. So it's all segregated. So people at home, they segregate the waste, and the collectors, of course, come and collect the segregated waste. So now we are going to China for that technology and waste incinerators. So we've started this in schools. We thought schools would be the right place to start this and embedding it into our curriculum. So we have now started it, and after the 30th of October, I think, after the 30th of October, the schools have to keep 5 recycled bin at school mandatory, and otherwise they'll be fined, and of course other things. But so far, and in all public schools, so these the waste and the plastic that we have confiscated is now being used to make those dustbins for public schools, and the private schools, of course, will have these on their own. So this is how we are changing or reshaping the climate resilient landscape across Punjab. Lots to tell you, and lots of interventions that we are doing. But we again, in Japan, the roads are cleaned at 4 a.m. in the morning. And the entire day, then the citizens keep the roads clean. There's no expectation from the government to clean the road after 4 a.m. Then the responsibility from the government shifts from 4 a.m. to the citizens of Tokyo and other cities of Japan. So here you see, every time we're on road, the Chief Minister's visionary program of Suthra Punjab, that's a waste management cleanliness program that we have launched last year, and now we have around 100,000 people working in Suthra Punjab. 35 billion machinery we've invested. But when you go on the road, of course you see clean Lahore, clean Punjab. It's a paradigm shift. This waste management, cultural shift, paradigm shift to cleanliness, but they're constantly cleaning the road. You see them every time on the road, cleaning the road. So the citizens do not realize, and they have to realize, that this is our choice that we make, and we have to keep our city clean. We have to keep our AQI low, the levels. It's us. The government can give you policy. The government can give enabling environment. The government can incentivize because of the economic part of it, but the government cannot do the part of citizens. We have to offset our carbon choices. And I would also like to mention my team here. Imran, Director General EPA, is sitting here, who has done remarkable job. And when I was posting him at Environmental Protection Agency, because in past, whoever was posted as Climate Change Secretary or DG EPA was considered to be, that they've not done well in other departments, and that's why they've been moved to a department like Climate Change, Environment, or EPF for that matter, and they've been penalized for not doing well. And he came to me for interview, and I said, I'm appointing you here because we had just joined government. And he was also slightly skeptical that what will happen. But now when I when I wanted to shift him to some other role, he said, no, I'm working as DG Environment Protection Agency, and I'll keep working at that position. So Imran, if you can just stand up. So he's a star of our team. The work that we show on the screens, the work that we show, and then of course, that we represent and we showcase is all done by the team of environmental protection. I would also like to mention here the previous secretary. He's now joined as Commissioner Faisalabad, and he also, Jahangir Saab, he's friend of media also, and he's also done a remarkable work at climate change, which is now being carried forward by Secretary Silvat, who's here with me, a remarkable source again. She's working very hard, and she's introduced lots and lots of programs for carbon offset with schools, with policymakers, with stakeholders, because of course we've entered into smog season already. We're in smog seasons, but alhamdulillah, because of the weather conditions. Last year we gained about 11 good days, which was a huge step forward. This year we've done our bit, alhamdulillah, and we're in smog season, but still you can see clear sky in Lahore, and the situation is not bad. But the moment these easterly wind corridors will start flowing, so we will, of course, be confronted with higher AQIs, but we are ready for that also. Preparedness is there, like millions of lives. So this year, before the AQI season, we're ready, we're prepared, we have the technology, we have the data, we have AI predictable modeling, we have the machinery, we have the will. We were in Beijing. Chief Minister asked that what is one thing that you think that eradicated smog from Beijing? So the expert and the minister there said one word: political will was the only thing. The equipment, the technology, it all came later. So there's a political will, of course. The Chief Minister has zero tolerance, because all these things that you see on screens, demolishing a brick kiln, sealing a industrial unit, demolishing the industrial unit because of non-compliance, these are all political decisions. And stubble burning, arresting the farmers involved in stubble burning, the owner of the farm, arresting them. So this is these are major political decisions, but there's zero tolerance by the Chief Minister. That's why the team is performing, the department is performing, the system is performing, and that's what is expected from the government. So that's how we are working. But your, of course, support your contribution, and because I see environment, climate change, mitigation, adaptation as a legacy that we leave for future generation. And the choices that we make, and we need to also educate our children because they are technology savvy, of course, and they are technology natives, Gen Zs. So the technology should, and Breathe Pakistan, of course, is doing the right thing through the social media. They are trying to raise awareness of the general public, the youth, people of Pakistan coming from Karachi to Lahore, and of course next year maybe in Islamabad. Islamabad was last year, and Lahore, and now maybe we go to Karachi next year and present our case from Punjab. So ladies and gentlemen, I apologize for a long talk, but as I say, we all need to invest our time, our focus on subject like these because it affects each one of us every day, every minute, every second. So thank you very much. Thank you for listening, for your patience also. And I would like to, in the end, thank Dawn Group again for taking this up. And we will, of course, be active partners along this journey with you. Thank you so much.